Hello, everybody. This is Secular Sekai with Tridents Against Tyrants, and yeah, we are back this week. Last week, so yeah, without going into too much detail, basically, uh, last week and most of this week, I was just dying from work projects. Um, and so unfortunately, just there just wasn't time for anything other than work, eat, sleep, and try not to go insane. So, yeah, just a little update. Unfortunately, that's what happened last week, but we are back this week, and uh, almost at the usual time. But then at the very last minute, my streaming space, I get a message saying, "Oh, well, there's going to be a repairman," and hello. Okay, fixed. All right, there we go. And audio is back. Okay, so we may end up switching over for a little while away from OBS because this is the second or third time now, I think, in a stream, if not more, that randomly, and I have no idea why, my microphone will be working and then suddenly stop working, which I don't know. I haven't had that happen. I don't think when I use my headset. So we may either stick with OBS, but I'll have to stop using my nice microphone and just go back to using a headset for a little bit, or we may end up using new software. So I'll have to figure all of that out and how to put all that up on the screen for y'all to see the fundraiser progress and everything. But yeah, just I have to be careful now because I notice randomly my microphone will just cut out midstream, and it's a weird issue that I need to get figured out. But anyway, everyone who's here now, thank you. And I hope most of what I said before was heard by everybody. All right. Anyway, it wasn't me, Lynn S., Keith Kane, Anton Cinnamon. Welcome, everybody. All right. So let's do this. Let me start with checking something. Okay. Well, I think that the sound issues should be fine if I leave these settings on the way I have them now. If anything, if there's any weird pings or anything that I'm unaware of in the middle of the stream, please let me know and I'll take a look at that. But I think we should be good. Let's just jump right into it. We've got some news from various different sources. First one we're going to start with. Let me pull it up. All right, first piece of news we're going to cover is from The Guardian. Putting that into the chat now. All right. Ukraine war briefing, attack on Russian bases in Crimea. Ukrainian aerial and maritime drones struck Russian military targets on the illegally occupied Crimean Peninsula on Thursday, a defense source in Kyiv said. An operation by the Navy and the Security Service of Ukraine, or SBU, damaged or disabled a command center and an ammunition depot, among other facilities at Lake Donuslav in western Crimea. The source told Agence France-Presse the Russian military said it brought down 33 Ukrainian aerial drones over Crimea and 10 naval drones heading for the peninsula. The figures were not independently verified, and Russian officials routinely claim after attacks that most or all threats were eliminated regardless of the outcome. So, again, yeah, don't trust Russian sources. That's just kind of a general rule of thumb for probably 100 years now with just about any war. Whatever the Russian government of the day might be, usually expect numbers to be fudged pretty often for a large number of reasons. All right. Ukraine's army confirmed it had pulled out from the village of Urozhen in the eastern Donetsk region. The village was reduced to rubble, which made it impossible to hold the positions there, Nazar Voloshin, a spokesperson for ground forces, told the Associated Press. Russia's defense ministry announced several days ago that its army had retaken Urozhen. Russian forces killed 5 civilians on Thursday in the Donetsk region, regional prosecutors said. An 85-year-old local resident died as a result of a hit to the residential building. They tried to save his wife, but she died during emergency treatment. Russian forces also attacked Grodivka, killing 3 women aged 26, 32, and 77, prosecutors said. And, of course, condolences to the families of those who have passed. Volodymyr Zelensky, attending the European Political Community Summit in Oxfordshire, accused the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán of betraying fellow European leaders to Vladimir Putin after Orbán's recent peace mission to Moscow. Let me adjust this microphone. And peace mission, of course, being in quotation marks. Write Lisa O'Carroll and Kieran Stacey. Zelensky told the session, Putin may try to approach you or go to some of your partners individually, trying to tempt or pressure you to blackmail you so that one of you betrays the rest. We keep our unity. Zelensky used his speech to urge Europe's leaders to provide more air defenses and weaponry for Ukraine and not place limits on their use. For example, the UK has provided Ukraine with Storm Shadow missiles, but reportedly is not allowing their use against targets in Russian territory. We should not fear these capabilities, Zelensky said. The more effective our air defenses, the more helpless Putin will be. The fewer restrictions we have on the use of effective weapons, the more Russia will seek peace. Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, introduced Zelensky on Thursday. Every day Ukraine fights to protect not just the Ukrainian people, but the European people. A continent where our belief in freedom, democracy, and the rule of law was hard-won that wants to live in peace, he said. Adding, allies will stand with you for as long as it takes. Zelensky will address the UK's new cabinet on Friday about the battlefield situation in the war with Russia. Sweden's Power Grid Authority will send 13 large diesel-powered backup generators to Ukraine. Thank you, Sweden, and welcome to NATO. And also Finland, not mentioned here, but welcome to NATO to them as well. And in the future, because it will happen, Ukraine, welcome to NATO. I'm sure we all look forward to the day that we can say that. The generators, the generators will, for instance, be able to supply a hospital with electricity or be used within the power grid to better handle outages, said Sweden's energy minister Ebba Busch. Russian attacks have halved Ukraine's electricity generation capacity compared with 1 year ago. Donald Trump's assertion he could quickly end the Ukraine war should be viewed realistically, given that when he was president, he promised a Middle East peace breakthrough but failed to achieve it, said Maria Zakharova, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson. So that's an interesting quote there. So, I don't know what they mean, but, well, the fact of the matter is, don't trust anything regarding Donald Trump. The man will promise the moon and will deliver you a rock from the backyard, calling it a moonstone. At the end of the day, Donald Trump will say anything he has to get elected. Donald Trump is not a friend to Ukraine, not a friend to the American people, and if anything, he's probably someone who would cozy up to authoritarians such as Vladimir Putin. All right. So that's a quick rundown of some updates. Let me go ahead and pull up the next article. All right, let's see here. From the Kiev Independent. Let me put this into chat. Oh, hey, I see James from Why Ukraine. Good to see you, man. Dumitru Claudiu, Amonsky Amarsky. Yeah, good to see y'all. Blonde Bombsheller, Lynn S. Yeah, welcome everybody. All right, next piece of news. Also, if the audio sounds good, let me know, because I'm realizing it might be a little low right now. I'm going to turn my gain up just a little bit. And let's see. I hope that doesn't cause any weird background noise, but I want it to be loud enough for everybody to hear. Ugh. Maybe right about there. If that sounds good, let me know. And let's continue. Russian tourists cancel Crimea holidays en masse, Ukrainian military intelligence says. Yeah, no shit. I just gotta say, it has always baffled me, the fact that the Russian government, that individual people in Moscovia, that anyone would think that doing a holiday, that vacationing in Crimea, in an active war zone, it's a place that is, I mean, obviously there are not ground forces in Crimea at the moment from the Ukrainian armed forces, but when it comes to naval and aerial attacks, those have been common for a long time throughout this war. So it's always baffled me that anyone would consider going there for recreational purposes. So, Russian tourists cancel holidays en masse. Russian tourists have canceled summer holiday bookings in occupied Crimea en masse amid concerns over the difficult security situation, Ukraine's military intelligence said on July 19th. In a post on Telegram, Hura claimed 80% of trips to Sevastopol had been canceled while the rate across the peninsula as a whole was more than a third. The mass refusal of Russians to vacation in Crimea was influenced by the unreliable and deadly work of the invaders' air defense system, Hura said. Russia has a number of military bases in Crimea, most notably in Sevastopol, Home of the Kremlin's Black Sea Fleet, those successful Ukrainian strikes forced Moscow to pull out much of its naval forces from the peninsula earlier this month. Despite often being within sight of active military bases, some Russian tourists continue to vacation at the Black Sea beach resorts. Last month, 3 people reportedly died when Russian air defenses intercepted Ukrainian missiles over the peninsula. While Hur's claims about the cancellation rates could not be verified, earlier news reports paint a picture of a Crimean tourist industry in dire trouble. In May, it was reported that local health resorts were offering discounts of up to 40% in an attempt to lure tourists to the peninsula. Local health resorts. I'm assuming it's just supposed to be like a spa or something, but they better start offering major perks or benefits or discounts for health insurance, because there is let's be honest, it is not a safe place to be. It's not a place where companies, obviously these are Moscovian companies, it's illogical. It doesn't make sense. All right, let's see. All right, now then, let's see here. Oh. All right, let's see. Let's go on to a little bit of information, fresh news about Russian losses, shall we? Ooh, is this going to be the right size on the screen? We shall see. Let me put it into chat first. Okay, so next. Oh, that was the wrong window. I'm going to have to resize this probably. But the article is there if you want to take a look at it in chat. Oh.
All the success.
Oh, that's annoying. It automatically opened an ad. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. We're just going to deal with the sizing as it is. Russia loses 990 soldiers, aircraft, multiple launch rocket system, and 7 tanks in one day. Russia has lost another 990 soldiers, killed and wounded, an aircraft, a multiple launch rocket system, and 7 tanks in the war against Ukraine over the past day alone. Sources from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The total combat losses of the Russian forces between February 24th, 2022 and July 20th, 2024 are estimated to be as follows. Approximately 565,610 military personnel, 990 in the last 24 hours. 8,257 tanks, 7 in the last 24 hours. 15,917 armored combat vehicles, 15 in the last day. 15,542 artillery systems, 22 in the last day. 1,121 multiple launch rocket systems, 1 in the last day. 895 air defense systems, 1 in the last day. 362 fixed-wing aircraft, 1 in the last day. 326 helicopters, 12,350 strategic and tactical UAVs, 34 in the last day. And there's a lot more here. We'll finish it out. 2,401 cruise missiles, 28 ships and boats, 1 submarine, 20,968 vehicles and tankers, 59 in the last day, 2,607 special vehicles and other equipment, with 14 lost in the last day. The cost of this war is staggering. And yeah, it's always good to get updated numbers. Of course, at the end of the day, as we're all aware, the terror Russian government, the government of Moscovia, doesn't really care that much about losses. It's more about saving face and trying to rebuild an empire, and doing so quite poorly, in my opinion, personally. Um, yeah, there's think of it like this, guys. Um, Russia wants warm sea ports for military activity any time of year, even in the cold winter months when things start to ice over. Um, but the bottom line is, if actually, you know what? Let's pull up the map real fast. Hold on. Okay, so let's say that basically the whole point of this. Yeah, let me go ahead and just pull up Google Maps. Let me do it on a bigger screen. We'll do it from here. No, from here. Okay, so here's a map of Europe. And, like, here's Ukraine. Here are the occupied regions of Crimea, and they're not highlighted on this map, but of course the south and the east that are currently occupied by orc forces. When you look at this map, yeah, there's the Black Sea and all, but the Black Sea is just that. It's one sea around here with, Turkey, Republic of Georgia, Romania, Bulgaria, all of that surrounding it. And the only way you can get out to the rest of the sea, like let's say the Russian Navy decided, oh, we want to go and harass, more easily get around to Europe or to parts of Northern Africa if we have like private military contractors, private military companies operating anywhere over here. Maybe they want to send some to Algeria and then, or Morocco, and have them go down through Mauritania into Mali or something, and just make it easier to set up supply lines or to set up maritime patrols of some sort for whatever reasons they might have. There's only one inlet, so only one way in and out. And that's through this tiny channel here, right through Istanbul. The only way that having access to these seaports would actively benefit Russia in the long term is if they broker a deal and manage to not piss off and prevent blockades from the Turkish Navy. And Turkey is a member of NATO, but of course they have their own rather conservative, quite authoritarian government right now that is in many ways similar to Russia, but often butts heads with Russia. More of a begrudging alliance and then rivalry, just depending on the situation any time or day. Yeah, it's not exactly something where the Russians can guarantee we're never going to have a problem with Turkey again. We'll always be able to make use of you know, whatever military ports we've illegally stolen and occupied, whatever naval ports we set up in occupied Republic of Georgia or occupied Ukraine like we're trying to do. I mean, unless things change radically and Turkey at some point in the future uh, decides, you know what, I'm going to move away from the West and NATO, and Hungary, maybe you want to come and join us, and we're going to have a temporary or, more a closer alliance with the Kremlin. Unless some crazy situation like that happens, which I don't foresee anytime soon for many reasons. This whole plan, beyond resources, beyond occupation of land, beyond the symbolism of trying to rebuild their empire, it's really, really dumb, in my opinion. Of course, anything could happen with geopolitics in 5, 10, 50 years. But, so, I mean, who knows? But it just, to me, is very striking, as all this is going to do is create a situation where you're going to be trapped in the Black Sea a bit more. You're going to be kind of trapped in the Black Sea. You already had your own land here on the Black Sea, so you didn't really gain much of anything in terms of access to it, and the same problem you might have had before with Turkey. It doesn't make geopolitical sense to me, to a lot of people, I think. There's not a lot that's been gained here. So when I see these numbers and what the Moscovian government is willing to sacrifice among their own people for this campaign, it's very foolhardy. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Let's move on to the next article. Let's take a look at some of the chat as well. The Russian Empire. Oh, let me highlight this in chat. And I'm going to put the Q&A up in a bit. Ozzy Bugga is here and says, the Russian Empire always dreamed of taking Constantinople, religious Orthodox culture, Third Rome myth, and geostrategic center. I mean, yeah, it is a geostrategic center, but they already it helps them dominate that geostrategic center there a bit more, with more naval ports in the Black Sea. But yeah, I'll be honest, it's like, what it's really not that much of a gain without the entire Ukrainian seacoast and Odessa. The failure to take all of that has, in my opinion, made this a pretty pointless campaign on the Russian side. And they may still have some grand hope that they're going to be able to do that, but so long as the West, I guess that's the big question. So long as the West actually continues to support Ukraine, that's never going to happen. And so the bottom line is, they didn't turn Ukraine into Moldova. They didn't cut all sea access from Ukraine. Ukraine still has its own ports and its own ways to conduct naval operations against the Russians, and now they have a major rival, a very angry rival right there where they didn't before. I mean, maybe Russia viewed NATO countries as a potential rival, but there wasn't active, extreme tension and hostilities, just more of posturing. Romanians and Bulgarians weren't, clamoring to launch naval operations of any sort. So, anyway, I'm going off topic, but yeah. At the end of the day, it's the whole war is nonsensical. I'd say to many of us. All right, let's go. Oh, hey, KK's GG is here. Thank you for being here. Also, I Yeah, okay. I got something. I got what you sent me. And shoot. I don't know if I can today because of where I'm at for this stream. If I get a chance, maybe on the shell stream, I'll try to put my camera on so I can showcase that a little bit. Thank you for being here. All right. Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, the failure to take both Kiev and Odessa was what turned this whole situation into a failure on the Russian side. Of course, Russia wanted to take the majority or all of Ukraine, and they failed at that. So, that's a failure for Russia. And on the Ukrainian side, of course, any loss of territory, everything that's happened has been horrible. The counteroffensive, unfortunately, did not retake massive amounts of territory back as it was hoped it would. So, unfortunately, that was also in terms of retaking land, liberating land. Unfortunately, the counteroffensive was not a success for the Ukrainian side. So this war, when people say, who's winning, who's losing, really no one's winning or losing. Neither side is achieving the goals, the victory conditions that they really want. The war is kind of currently continuing to grind as a stalemate. And yeah, I do wholeheartedly believe that all of the occupied territories will be returned to Ukraine one day, but this will be an ongoing geopolitical conflict. Potentially for generations. We have to be prepared for that. Very real possibility, which is quite unfortunate. And I hope that isn't the reality. I hope Ukraine gets what it needs, the support that it needs to be able to win this. If not in this war, then in a subsequent war. But only time will tell. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so next, I've got some more news that we can cover, but before that, let me check something right quick. One moment, I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. I'm just checking to see if I have any messages, anything important to note right quick. Not immediately at this moment, but I'm looking into a few smaller fundraisers I may have mentioned earlier to include on the channel. Now, if I do that, I do not have a way to create and have full control over a monobank account, which is what is usually used to make the progress bars that you see when we're doing our fundraiser for the 110th Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. So because of that, I'll likely have to use a different app, a different financial service to set something up if I do it myself and then transfer the money or donate the money directly. So I'll keep you all posted on that, but there's a few units. If they already have monobanks or other similar accounts ready where we can view how much is left to be fundraised for it, then I'll put that up on the screen that they have set up themselves. If not, then, once I have all of that logistics on that figured out, we'll have something up. But expect an update soon. But regarding our current fundraiser, the large one, which we're continuing to do long term, I'm going to go ahead and make a donation right now. So, because unfortunately, we're going to have this be a shorter stream because the shows will be starting in just a few minutes, I believe. And like I said, this stream was meant to be earlier today, but unfortunately, yeah, couldn't control having to grab all of my equipment and move it to a new location today, and push the stream back. So, let me go ahead and make that donation right quick. Anyone who's listening who would like to contribute toward the fundraiser that Anton and I are doing for the Ukrainian Armed Forces, we're still working toward those 110 drones. Let me see here. We're at 2,860.69 hryvnia. And if I go to, let's see here. If I go to the monobank jar, let me take a look at the details. We currently have delivered 25 out of 110 of the drones for our fundraiser. And we're continuing to move forward with that. So, yeah, thank you everyone for showing support. And oh, wait a second. Let me try something right quick. I tried to make a payment directly through Monobank, but of course, it's real hit or miss whether or not that works sometimes when you're outside of Ukraine. Let me see if I can get it to go through. One more try. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just do it through either PayPal or buy me a coffee. I really want to just do it through Monobank so it pops up right now, right here on the screen. And that's part of the reason why if I set up another fundraiser, it probably will be better for me to do it with a different service until I've got the ability to set up a Monobank account or something similar. And I've heard it's hard for non-Ukrainians specifically to get Monobank set up. I think because it's got these kinds of features, which makes it very easy to get an international audience to do, to give money to any particular, whatever it might be. So I think that might be for trying to prevent fraud situations. But I've heard it's hard for a foreigner to get a monobank, but it's easier to get other bank accounts inside of Ukraine. Let's see. One more time. Nope. I love Monobank, but unfortunately, it seems like international financial institutions are not as fond, which really does irk me because Monobank is a very big part of fundraising for the Ukrainian armed forces for a lot of people inside of Ukraine. So it's frustrating. All right, let me make this donation right quick another way. Okay, let's see. Okay. And it was done over. Oh, did it just go through? Ah, I think someone else made a donation. If so, thank you very, very much. And mine just went through because first Buy Me a Coffee gave me an issue. I'm sorry, first Monobank gave me an issue. And then I was trying to do it real fast through Buy Me a Coffee. And that gave me an issue, which I don't know. I guess it just goes to show when you're trying to do something last minute on the fly, that can happen. But thank you. Yeah, and I see 5,196. Perfect. Perfect. So there we go. We're making progress again, everybody. In fact, I'm going to make one more donation over PayPal. And to everyone who's joining in, thank you very much. Yeah, wait, it didn't wait. Blonde Bombshell, I see. It didn't work for me either. Was that over Monobank or over Buy Me a Coffee? Because unfortunately, Buy Me a Coffee for some reason didn't work on for me, and that surprised me. But yeah, that's very odd. If anyone else has a problem with Buy Me a Coffee, let me know. Monobank, okay, Monobank makes sense. Yeah, Monobank usually has trouble for people outside of Ukraine. Okay, well, if someone wants to, even if it's just like a $1 or a one, or I think the minimum is actually $5, like a $5. If someone wants to try out the yellow Buy Me a Coffee, the yellow one, which is for soldiers, let me know. Like just so we can make sure that's working, because it should be. I think there was just something weird with my card right now, but in any case, I'm guessing most of the donations that came in just now were probably over PayPal. So thank you, everybody. Oh, and you know what? Hold on. No, I don't have access to send a test with the yellow one right now. But to see if the link pops up. Ah, Anton says, thank you for your support. And yeah, thank you for being here, Anton. And we're glad to, to help out. Thank you for everything that you do. I know you do a lot of stuff as on the ground as a volunteer in Ukraine, and we all really, really appreciate what you do. And Anton, Anton, I don't think has ever actually been live on the channel, like during a stream, like video call, basically. But his picture has been up, so people, have seen Anton, what he looks like, work that he does, and yeah, I have a lot of respect for Anton. So, thank you again, thank you, my friend. All right. Well, let's see here. Let me double check the shills. I think the shills is starting out very soon. And if so, then I'm going to test out the Buy Me a Coffee later to see if I can sort out whatever issue I was having with it a moment ago. Because we definitely need to have at least 2 donation avenues. PayPal is always great, but we also want to have Buy Me a Coffee working for when people, for any reason, aren't able to donate over PayPal. Oh, wait, the Buy Me a Coffee link? The Buy Me a Coffee link should always... Oh, actually, maybe I don't. You know, I just realized I don't actually have the donation links directly in the description, do I? They pop up in the chat occasionally. Oh, wait, no, yeah. No, it is. It is. It's in the description. Yeah, if you look in the description, it'll be the 110th Brigade Buy Me a Coffee donations, the one for Anton. So the blue Buy Me a Coffee, sorry, the yellow Buy Me a Coffee. Yellow Buy Me a Coffee for Anton Tkachenko, not the blue one. So yeah, just as always, remember, yellow Buy Me a Coffee equals money to soldiers. Blue one equals support for the channel, just to help grow Tridents Against Tyrants. That's why I always push the yellow one before the blue one. Oh, okay. Test. Okay, yeah, one coffee. Mitchell Ashdown. Okay, so that is working for people. Thank you, Mitchell Ashdown, for doing that and for the $5. Okay, perfect. So that is working. All right. So in that case, it's something to do with my card. I don't know why it was declined. But either way, all right. I sent it over PayPal. Buy Me a Coffee is working for people, and we are good to go. All right. So let's see here. I meant to tell you those were sent in their original shipping and not yet laundered, so you might want to do that. Oh, yeah. Well, I got too excited and I already, yeah, I already used them, so I don't feel like I got sick or anything, but I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Let me check on the shills right quick. Oh, wait, maybe I was off. Is there not a stream going on? Oh, nope, it is, and I should head over to it because it's supposed to be starting now. Okay, everybody. This stream's a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be, but, oh, more next month. Thank you very much, Susan. Susan Wolf just bought a coffee over Buy Me a Coffee, and we've confirmed that it's still working for people. We went ahead and went from 2,000 something to 5,196.69 directly in the monobank through PayPal and monobank donations. Probably mostly PayPal. I don't know how many people watch our channel who are inside of Ukraine themselves, since this is all done in English. But thank you again, and yeah, everybody, feel free to move over to the shells. I'm going to put the link into the chat right now. And we'll have another... I might do a bonus stream sometime this week, since I missed the stream last week. And we will continue to fundraise and push forward for the armed forces of Ukraine. Thank you for being here, everybody. There is the link in chat. We'll try to do a Q&A next time. And yeah, Slava Ukraini. All right, see you in a bit, everybody. Oh, yes, Blonde Bombsheller. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember if you like for your name to be mentioned on streams or not, but I see that you put it into the chat. So yeah, I was just going with the name that appeared automatically from Buy Me a Coffee. And remember, everyone, if you want, you can use your real name or you can put a pseudonym on Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I usually do. So anyway, thank you again, Blonde Bombsheller. Slava Ukraini, everybody, and see you in a bit.